So I know it's been a while since I put up some artifact content, and there's a few reasons for that. One, I've been casting artifact events, and that made it difficult to play. And then when I got back, I was diving headfirst into the Elder Scrolls Legends and Magic Arena because they both had new expansion sets drop, and I was, like all card game nerds, very excited and eager to play with new cards and do new things. But the fact of the matter is, I still have artifact, and I've been missing playing it, and it's time that I get back to putting that content on my channel. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to do a phantom draft. I haven't done any drafting since the items were updated in the last patch. So we're going to just do a phantom draft. We're going to do it in the prized play and see how it goes. And for this video, I'm going to do the draft and build the deck. And then for the future videos, I'm going to showcase all of my games, win or lose. And hopefully it's more wins than losses, but either way you're going to see the entire run, even if I fall flat on my face. So the point is, I just want to get back to making some good artifact content. So, alright, that might be questionable. I want to get back to making artifact content. Whether or not it's good is a completely different story. And right out of the gate here, this is a very easy decision to make. Time of Triumph is an auto pick. And Phantom Assassin is a great hero. I don't think you pass on it. Hipfire would be up for consideration if Time of Triumph wasn't in this pick. Or Dimensional Portal would be up for consideration as well. Hipfire is a safe pair because it pairs with the Assassin that I think you take regardless. But you do not pass up Time of Triumph. You do not pass up Phantom Assassin. So we pick those and we move right along. And then, wow, it's like it's drafting itself for us. Stonehall Elite is a premium creep. We do not pass up that opportunity either. And Disciple of Nevermore, good quality safe pick, right within the colors we've already selected, so no reason to not pick those up. Again, continuing on, out of these picks, we have the new Keenfolk Musket, a little bit less gold because of the buff. But here, I like Hipfire. As I said in the first pick, I like it a lot and would have considered picking it there. Now, we got to pick something off color. If we end up splashing, Roseleaf Rejuvenator, great splash card, good big body, potential finisher. We might end up just 2 color, but if we go 3, that's a good quality potential inclusion. So we'll pick that up. Here, I really like the new Stonehall Plate because of the buff. So we're going to grab that, and I actually like Ravenous Mass. This card can be sneaky good in draft because if there are less ways for your opponent to punish you from playing this, you can use it as like a budget town portal. And what I mean by that is you can play it next to a hero if it's in a dead lane, and then use the active to eat the hero. Now, yeah, you lose a hero, you give your opponent some gold, but now it's dead, it'll go back to the fountain, you can redeploy it. You can also use this if it's in an open slot to push damage through to a tower, meaning you play this so that its arrow is hopefully hitting the tower, and whatever was next to it that was blocked and you wanted that damage to get through, the mass can eat it, and now you're hitting the tower. So we're going to take the mass and the Stonehall Plate here. Good quality picks. Not much to say here. We're not really excited about the zombie. Pick a fight. You know, if we stay in red, has the potential to not be terrible. And these are just filler picks. I probably won't play either one of them. In fact, we're just going to go ahead and pull this up and say no and no. All right, next pack. A lot of stuff that I like here as well. I love Bronze Legionnaire. I love Tyler Estate Censor. And I actually really like Steam Cannon in Limited. This is kind of a tough call. On the one hand, I really want to pick this because it's a great creep and because we're a little light on red so far. But either way, I think this ends up getting picked because it's a good quality creep. So now it's just between these two, and I think I prefer the Steam Cannon because of the versatility. Kind of sucks, but I think we take the Steam Cannon here. I really wish I could pick this, though. But being that this is a common and this is a rare, we're far more likely to, you know, maybe pick another one of these up somewhere. I think we take this. Black also doesn't have a lot of like late game cards. Holy cow. Oh, this pack is right after my own heart. I love Sorla Khan. It might be my favorite hero in the game. And again, we're already in black, so let's go ahead and take that. I'm not a big fan of any of these red cards. especially with us being a little bit light on red. And if we end up taking some sort of splash or split, because it is possible that red ends up being our splash, Selfish Cleric, good safe pick. And we're already a little bit in green, so we're going to go ahead and take that as the second pick here. And next up we have, well, man, Annihilation would be a good pickup, but we are not in blue. Somebody is going to get this pack in the pool later on and be like, what was picked out of this that Annihilation was left over? I like another hip fire pickup, and now it comes down to, do I want Intimidation or the Crippler? And that is a tough call, because right now I've got essentially 2 playable red cards, 2 playable green cards, and this is like half playable. So we're theoretically more in red. This is a great utility pick though, but I feel like this is still safer because we do have 1 potentially playable card here. And if I'm being honest, I think I just prefer Keef a little bit more to Farvin at the moment as far as the basic heroes go, so we're going to go with that. And not a lot going on here. I like Murder Plot as far as like what's here because we don't have any other gold effects. I'm not a big fan of this. We're not in blue, so we're going to take Murder Plot, and then Bellow becomes like a half playable card in green. And here we're going to take the newly buffed Broadsword and Juke just because I'm not a big fan of Book of the Dead. And we're taking these, but again, probably not playing either one of them. Even with the new cost on Obliterating Orb, not a big fan. So we'll go ahead and move these down. And we are on to the next pack. And there's a lot of good stuff here. I like the Brawler. I think this is going to for sure be the pick. Crippler's okay, but I don't think we pick it this early. And then we have Decoys, and then we have the newly buffed Blade, and Stonehull Cloak, which is still as good as ever. So the question is, do I want to fill out my items more, because Stonehull Cloak is really powerful? Do I want to take another red creep and just kind of continue down that path? Or do I want to take one of these Decoys and go fully on the splash train? I don't think I commit to the splash quite yet if I don't have to. And I already have 2, like these are playable items. I don't think picking these here in the third pack feels quite right yet, and especially as like first picks in a pack. So even though this is not something I want to take here, I think it's still probably better than the cloak. Now this is a tough call. So we have the pick off. I'm a big fan of the pick off. We have another mass, but I don't think I ever run 2. Slay is okay in draft, but now we also have the new Pike, Premium Finisher, and Thunderhide, and then a decent red hero. Ursa isn't great, but it's probably still better than Keef. So I really have to decide, I think at this moment, right, like this is the turning point. Do I say I am for sure going to go 2-color? Or do I say I am totally fine with splashing a green hero? Because if I'm going to splash, like Thunderhide is one of the things you want to splash for, right? I mean, we do have a Time of Triumph as a finisher, but there's no guarantee we find it. Having another thing like Thunderhide is a pretty big deal. So I think that right now we take this because I think it's slightly valued more than the Ursa. If this was like Legion Commander or something, then we would take that no question. But Ursa is, like I said, better than Keef, but not by a large margin. So I think you take the Thunderhide here. And now we're going to take this cloak for sure. Now it's just a question of, again, if I'm splashing, do I take the Blessing or do I take these daggers? Because the daggers would be playable as well. That is kind of a tough call. I think we're going to take this Blessing more than the daggers. I might regret that later. We'll see. And not a lot of great options here. We'll take the Clear the Deck just because. We could either take the Unsupervised or essentially a Broadsword. And I'm going to be honest, I don't see myself playing this. But I also don't see myself playing 2 Broadswords. So I guess we'll take the Artillery and then we might just weed it out. But I don't think 2 Broadswords is on the menu. Well, at this point, we're just going to draft all the Broadswords anyway. And, you know, Timbersaw is entirely playable. And Grazing Shot's potentially playable as well. This is actually a decent final 2 picks here. All right, so we are definitely on at least splashing green now because we have another Thunderhide pack. And now the question becomes, do I want Magnus over a Farvin, or do I want the Celemane's Favor? Because we do have a lot of things that we could ramp into, and that is a legitimate question. I feel like Magnus is still slightly better because I like him more than Farvin by a pretty large margin. But the Celemane's Favor is tempting, because if we are going on the splash train, we're going to have 2 Thunderhides and a Time of Triumph. I don't think I can pass the Favor up, just given the late game bombs that we have. We also have Steam Cannon, potentially this Rose Leaf. Like, we have a lot of great late game cards. I don't think I can let that go. Ramp is really powerful. Sorry, Magnus. And we get rewarded anyway. So we can go ahead and take this Bristleback. And now, wow, this pack is stacked. We have to decide between Mercenary Exiles, great creep, Enough Magic, great utility, Turret, great utility, or even the new Assassin's Veil, which would pair very nicely with Bristleback and give us another great early item option. And that is a tough call. I'm not sold on this early, so I'm really between these 3. I like the idea of having 1 Enough Magic, but we're also trying to ramp to the late game, so perhaps this isn't the best pick, in which case early creeps feel important. Keenfolk Turret, I mean, could be pretty important as well. And this is a tough call. This is a pretty tough call. What do we have for early creeps here? We have the Disciple, potentially this Cleric, Stonehall, a couple of Cripplers. As good as this is, I think that we end up taking the Keenfolk here. Well, we are picking a second red, though, and we're going to want to fill out red plays. No, let's go with the Exiles, I think. We might regret that later. A lot of tough picks this time around. This is pretty straightforward. I'm not even sure any of these end up making the cut, but you're the most playable, and I guess we'll take the pick a fight. Not that we're going to end up running 2. We certainly don't need more broadswords or orbs, and we're probably not running any of these. Here we're going to take the Decoy, might fit into our splash, and I guess another Bellow just because it's the next best option. Clear the deck is fine, and I guess we'll take the Chainmail, but I'm not going to run it. And we're also not going to run that guard, so we can go ahead and drop these down as well. And wow, okay, so here I am, like on my I really want to splash green game plan. Like, we drafted 2 Thunderhides, a Rose Leaf, and a Favor. But then we get offered Sniper and a Vandal. There's also a Rejuvenator in this pack as well. Wow, what a tough call. So we have to decide now, do we just go with Sniper and ignore the green? This is a legitimate tough decision because these Thunderhides and the Favor are fantastic. And what makes it even worse is, I mean, we have enough to maybe make that work. But if I take the Sniper, I cannot take a green hero. Do I just go? Let's go ahead and let's look at our playable cards here, right? If we were to ignore green, because let's be honest, like Juke and Bellow, questionable. So really in green we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 playable cards. So we have enough to splash as a 1 green hero. In red, defensive stance is not something we are playing. Pick a fight is questionable. We'll count those as like a half. So we have 2, 3, probably only one of these. So 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then with these, right, you jump up to 15. Typically you want somewhere between 15 and 16 for your 2s. Now let's take a look at the black, right? 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, plus the Sniper is going to add more. And yeah, we could just cut the green. This is a make or break decision here. We are in the last pack. I've literally drafted a Rose Leaf, a favor, and 2 Thunderhides, and I'm considering cutting green. Wow. Who would have thought? Like, I just don't feel like that's correct. But we also didn't get many of the good green 4-drops. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to go all in here. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to regret this. But we're going to go all in on this cutting green thing. We're going to take the new phase boots and be very, very happy. Well, we do have this Legion Standard Bearer, but the reason I really like phase boots is we have a Sorla and a Bristleback. And now that it's much cheaper, I think it's a good pickup. So yeah, if we're cutting green, let's just go ahead and drag all of these out and start paying better attention to what we do have as playables. Because that also means that as much as I want these phase boots, technically I think I should take this. But I really want those phase boots. With Sorla and Bristleback, those feel really good. Tough call. This is also a really good 4-drop. Like, much better than the other 4-drops I have. Maybe not better than Vandal or Tyler Estate, but just kind of in the general sense of things. How much do I want the 1 phase boots in my item deck versus the Standard Bearer? Like, if I didn't have Sorla and it was just Bristleback, I would say, okay, no phase boots, you take this. But I think we're going to keep the phase boots. I want 1 phase boots in my deck. I'm already making a ton of mistakes. I'm doing all of the things you should not be doing anyway. So what's 1 more, you know? I mean, we're going to take a new orders. There's no way I'm running 2, so we'll grab 1 and I guess them all, even though we likely won't play them all. I do like them all, though. We'll take 1 blade and I guess a gold mine. I don't want 2 of these, and gold mine isn't terrible. It's not a dead card. I guess we're just doing this now for giggles. So yeah, the Standard Bearer, it would appear, was like my last shot at a 4-drop. So now I've got to live with my consequences. I have to hope I have enough in here to just build a good 2-card deck. So let's take these out. I don't want anything more than 1 broadsword, but I do like the new blade. So at 5 items now. Let's go ahead and throw in those. And let's go with 1 more short sword. That'll round out the item deck. And now we have to make some decisions here. Sorla is certainly going to be here because I want to deploy her, and also in terms of early game, I only need, like on that first turn, I'm only playing likely ladders or gold mine, so only the 1 there is fine. Sorla can be there, and then sniper rounded out. So this is a good deploy order. We're at 43 cards, so we have to cut 3 cards from what we have here. We can also just go ahead and do this. So those are the only things we've cut. So yeah, 3 cards to cut. Do I want pick a fight more than new orders? So as much as I said we're probably not running this, that was when I thought we were splashing. I guess that does make it in. I don't think I want to clear the decks. I guess Murder Plot's going to end up sticking in as well. Not a huge fan of it. We definitely do not want the Cursed Satyr in. So now it's just, yeah. Do I want 2 pick-a-fights or 2 new orders? I think I want 2 pick-a-fights more than the new orders. And this is going to be it. This is going to be our 40 cards because I made the horrendous decision. I mean, really bad decision. I could go back. I could cut one of these, but like Sniper is just so hard to pass up. So we'll see how this goes. I made the horrendous decision to say, you know what? Who cares about late game? Who cares about all those green heroes? We're going to go ahead and hit register. Lock it in. And that's it. That's the draft and the deck building. This is the end of the first video. The future videos will be me playing through the run. Again, win or lose, even if I fall on my face. So look for those. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I hope to catch you in the next video.